Joshua Bassett. Joshua Bassett was a Disney actor that had bad things happen to him when he was younger, and he walked away from religion because he went to Hollywood, and now has found his way back to religion. Is that how you describe it? Through the mega church?
Yeah. So you might know him from Stuck in the Middle or High School Musical, the series. I don't. But yeah, now he has decided to get baptized at a mega church called Bethel Church, and a lot of his fans are worried because he previously identified as bisexual, as all Gen Z celebrities do nowadays.
They give him the box to check. There's no other box. It just gives them bisexual. And
he identifies as bisexual. He has a perm. He might get a dangly earring. He might go there. He might get the dangly earring. I think if he weren't on Disney, he would just be a TikTok star. There are two boxes you could fit. You could be the Disney star, or you can be the TikTok star.
He'd have a fade if he was the TikTok star.
So he's only a few months younger than me, and now he has decided to go public with his conversion or reversion to Christianity. And he's posted the video of his baptism, of his testimony as well.
And people were like, I'm worried about him.
So let's just play the video. That it's been reposted a lot, and his fans are not happy to hear this news.
My name's Joshua, and long story short, I grew up Christian, and I ran the other way as far as I could go in pursuit of truth. And that only ended in addiction, depression, suicidal ideation, disorders, etc. And no other teacher gave me anywhere near the peace that Jesus Christ did. That's right.
Hype man.
And I'm here to publicly declare him as my Lord and Savior.
Pretty wholesome.
So not my type of church environment, but
have you ever heard the word ideation in any phrase other than suicidal ideation?
No.
It's literally never said in any other context.
Homicidal ideation?
Maybe.
There's
intent.
that.
Yeah. Like.
So his fans are concerned because they looked into Bethel Church, and they...
The megaist of mega churches.
It is a mega church. I mean, I have my own feelings on that, but they have a website where they articulate their beliefs on a lot of different things, and one is their beliefs on sexuality, and now people are calling them homophobic, anti-LGBTQ. They say they support conversion therapy, all of this different stuff, and I actually did look at their website, and one controversial statement it makes is, male and female are fundamental and essential distinctions.
Perish the thought.
Male and female are older than trees. Seriously, the concept, like male and female, that's older than, sharks have been around longer than trees, 450 million years, and there are male and female sharks. Yeah. So male and female is older than trees. Whoever said that is an idiot.
Well, Bella Ramsey would like to have a word with you.
I have a whole sentence for her. Male and female is older than trees.
Show us the way, nature man.
Very problematic.
It seems like something that Christians and non-Christians alike can agree on. They said, though men and women's bodies are highly similar in various biological systems, like nervous, circulatory, digestive, men and women are different. And
crazy.
Our chromosomal reality and anatomy at birth, which are not merely assigned but observed and scientifically provable, are defining. And they called it an anomaly to be intersex, which it is.
Well, that's the argument. They always fall back on that argument of like the 0.001% that are intersex disorder.
And they say that like sex is like, I know gender is a social construct, but people will say that biological sex is a social construct. And again, you're talking about something that existed before societies, so it can't be a social construct.
Mm-hmm. It's all, and let's face it, like when it comes to something like this in Hollywood, I just think for him, is he acting regularly? That's part of the question. The other thing is they're weirdly okay with mega churches in Hollywood. Like, they're okay with you going to church as long as you go to a mega church.
It's more common to go to a mega church in LA than a Catholic church. But like, imagine if he had gotten baptized at some traditional looking Catholic church. Would they then complain that the official beliefs taught by the Catholic Church are homophobic, anti-LGBTQ? Or is it just because Bethel Church has a website where they say these things?
Up until the Catholics got the Satanist Pope that they got now, like they were.
I will not agree with that statement.
but before the current Pope, it was openly and clearly stated that Catholics disapproved of abortion, Catholics disapproved of homosexuality, and I assume that trans people were probably something that they weren't all that into now. The only
That's
reason,
still the case.
yeah, well, that's what I would assume, because religions don't change.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the Reformation in Christianity 200 years ago.
Thank you.
Woo!
So fun to listen to.
It's a tame one this week. The last couple of weeks, I've been making ones with screaming and stuff like that, just to scare the crap out of everyone.
I can scream
Yeah,
for you if you want.
He's perfect for it.
it's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, until certain activist types started meddling the clarity on that, I think all Christians kind of had common ground in that they just believe that men and women are different and those distinctions are real things that exist.
Yeah.
Liberation theology has taken over the Catholic Church.
Yeah. So there's this website that is called churchclarity.org. I did not know about its existence before, but people used it to check Bethel Redding's rating. And it rated on their LGBTQ policy, like as if it's some kind of policy organization or think tank, non-affirming. And then their women in leadership policy is defined as egalitarian. So
Women in leadership.
they get official ratings on how they treat different protected groups from churchclarity.org. And people are reposting this as proof that Joshua Bassett is attending a cult-like, hateful church that is not for him as a bisexual person.
What he said was that he just got baptized there, and I don't support
This was
each and
his tweet.
every, I don't
He
support
said, I
each and
visited
every.
this church and happened to get baptized here. I was unaware of some of their policies and beliefs and do not endorse all of them. My heart is for Christ and Christ alone. And now people are still giving him backlash after he clarified that.
He denounced the bride of Christ.
You really-
He denounced the church. If he denounces the Holy Church, he's denouncing
Well,
the bride of Christ. That's blasphemy.
Only the Catholic Church is the bride of Christ.
Well, isn't he? Oh, no,
Bethel,
okay. He's not a
Bethel
Catholic.
Redding
My
megachurch
bad.
is
All
not
right.
the bride of
All right,
Christ.
my bad. Fair enough.
So they're saying the least you can do while getting baptized in a church is to do a background check, especially since there are so many churches in the U.S. and you could have easily found one that matches your values. It's really easy to find out if a church is homophobic. You should have done your homework.
Do the work.
These people are actually psychotic.
Yeah,
they are.
They are.
They're all like manipulative people. Like, this is all manipulation. All this that whole you should feel bad and you didn't do the work and da da da.
Yep.
It's all emotional manipulation. If you were dating a guy or a girl and they were saying that kind of stuff to you, break up with them. Break up with them and find someone that's going to treat you right.
Also, let's face it. Like
It's true.
The dude
true.
is just trying to like get his life back on track. Beats addiction. Gets through his addiction. He's having this like great moment in his life, and here come the idiots on Twitter that are just like, not on my watch.
The activists would 100% prefer him to be addicted and miserable
and going to a therapist.
if he was endorsing their worldview as opposed to denouncing their worldview and having a healthy relationship with his family and life. If he were happy and denounces their worldview, then he is all bad.
They're acting like the church got some kind of profit off of him getting baptized in that building. Like he had to pay to get baptized there. Like it's not a business and it's not an employer, so why would you do a background check on it?
And also, let's talk about something that's even more important, which is the fact that this kid was abused when he was a kid. And he's from an industry that's known for ruining kids' lives, being Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's where your
Specifically Disney.
That's where your actual anger should be, annoying person on Twitter. Your actual anger should be, why are you a weird Disney adult who cries when they see the Magic Kingdom, but you get mad because this dude went to a church you don't like? Your priorities are skewed.
He's
Weird
obviously
Disney
trying
adult.
to like deal with some trauma that he got from his childhood or from working for Disney, and now people are like taking their astroturfed religious trauma and subjecting him to it when he is profoundly uninterested and is just posting something positive on social media for once.
Yeah.
It's like, but they see somebody happy, they're like, oh, hold up, happiness. Not today, Satan. You're not gonna be happy today.
They're also
we
mad
don't allow
that
happiness.
They're mad that Bethel Redding is pro-life.
They don't like any. They don't.
I
Want
didn't
anybody
see
to be
any
happy.
proof that they're pro-conversion therapy. By the way, I saw nothing
they
about
said
that.
alleged.
Yeah.
Like I love they just slipped that word in there. Like they're allegedly into conversion therapy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the only other thing that they found on this church is some scandal they had in 2011 with youth pastors' sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's like, how? Okay, so Joshua Bassett is never supposed to go to a church where any bad people have ever gone.
Well, it's just like there was just recently another Disney employee like charged with like abuse of children or something like that. Like the companies they champion are just as bad, if not worse, than anything that they claim to protest against.
There's
in
one thing
Hollywood.
that people do frequently. They associate whatever the context was that a child was abused in or raped in. They associate the context as the problem, and it's really that predators go to where the access is.
Yeah.
So if it's predators that can go to go to Disney and get a job and have access to kids at Disney, they're going to go there.
Yeah.
If they go into church and they become priests because that gives them access to kids, whether they go into schools because it gives them access to kids. The commonality is not the whatever job it is. The commonality is it's access to children, and that's where they go. So people that say, oh well, it's the problem is Disney or the problem is schools, the problem is priests or the problem is blah blah blah. No, the problem isn't that. It's that predators go to where they have access.
Well, my problem is that they're not evenly as outraged when it happens at Disney as they are when it happens at the Catholic Church. I also love how whether it's this story or it's Post Malone losing weight, like any sign of happiness or change is like to them immediately means you're sick. Like they're like, "Are you okay? You seem happy, and you're not talking about going to a therapist. So maybe something's wrong with you." Post Malone loses a bunch of weight.
If you're gaining weight, it's because you're empowered and comfortable in your body. If you're losing weight, it's because you're having a mental health crisis and you're on drugs.
Yep.
And if you convert to Christianity and find peace in that, then you're getting preyed upon by a cult. But if you LARP as Fat Satan on stage, like
love
Sam
Fat
Smith,
Satan
then
here.
it just means that
Satan.
you're full of pride in your identity and you're
Which is the preferred Sam Smith, the Fat Satan or the Fat Ham?
I like he looks like the devil from Cow and Chicken back in the day. You remember that?
Tubby, I think Fat Satan's better because the more was covered up. I didn't have to see quite as much on Fat Satan. Plus, he had I don't know if Fat Ham had high heels on, but I know Fat Satan had high heels on. So he is every woman too. Like he understands the
like
your
how
struggle.
is that not a cry for help? How is Sam Smith walking around in an inflatable bodysuit made of latex where he looks like he could fall down and not get up any moment?
still
How's
think
that
that-
not a cry for help? But someone getting baptized and saying that they're happier than they've ever been, that's the cry for help?
I still think that was the Chinese spy balloon. Him and the heart shaped.
Sam Smith is the Chinese
He
spy balloon.
he pulls up
landed.
into the sky. He could work for China. He could very easily be sent here by China to gather information on our ways.
After watching the second Harry Potter movie where he sends his aunt up into the sky, I was like, that's the Chinese spy
Yeah,
balloon.
that's what it was. That's what it was. Look, I think a lot of it is also they're desperate to keep you reliant on the institution. So somebody getting help without the help of a psychologist or a therapist, they love therapy. The people that are yelling at
Secular
him right now,
confession.
they love therapy. They love the idea of you going to therapy. They love the idea of working on your mental health.
Therapists are secular priests.
Yes, and I'm not saying that that's not important. As somebody who's in recovery, who's in substance abuse recovery, did not go through a 12-step program, went through something that's called health realization, which did involve talking in such a method. I went through DBT training, dialectic behavioral therapy, and cognitive behavioral therapy. There's a place for that in society, but they've evangelized it and they've turned it into something to worship. You worship at the altar of going to therapy. And the idea that he could go to confession or go to church on Sunday and get something out of it, that's blasphemous to them.
Yeah.
But not the idea that you could, and also you could do that for free. They ask you for a donation. They always get mad. They're like, look at them. They're like, the church asks them for money. I'm like, well, your therapist charges you plenty. But I guess your HMO
Therapy
covers
is
it, so
for
it's fine.
profit, if you weren't aware.
Exactly.
Well,
So
it's ironic how they're framing this as, the mega church is preying on his vulnerabilities. But then when he works for Disney, they're like, well, it's your employer. You chose to work there.
Yep.
Like, if anything, Disney is the one that should be indicted for preying upon the vulnerable.
Well, they just lost their Reedy Creek status. DeSantis brought the ban hammer down on them and is
Justified.
going to be appointing his own council for that area. So that will be interesting to see. Look, they just don't like seeing people happy that are happy in a way that they don't approve of.
And what if I were like, oh, he didn't do his homework. He should have gotten baptized at a Catholic church like me. Like,
said
I
that.
wasn't going to do that because this man is obviously, going in a positive direction in life and is celebrating something good that happened to him.
You don't like him, Joshua Bassett, because he went to a megachurch. I don't like him because he didn't go to a Catholic church. We're not the same. That's exactly right. Yeah. So
Exactly.
it is what it is. Like, I just feel bad. Like, it is also the only thing. Like, you have to justify it now. You have to just I was like, okay, now do Islam. They would never do that.
Their lies go in degrees. So they start by saying, Bethel Church says that men and women are different. And then you go further and you're like, Bethel Church says that trans people aren't real. Yeah. Then the next one is like, I heard that they were like complicit in conversion therapy. Then you go further and you say, I heard they were doing electric shock on gay people that get baptized there. Joshua Bassett needs to be saved.
All this because an actor who worked for Disney, like just let the kid live. Let the kid do his job.
They did the same thing to that YouTuber Lo Anthony. He was like really popular. He was openly gay, and then he came to the conclusion that he didn't actually feel that way anymore. He converted to Catholicism, and he just stopped making the type of content that he used to make. He started talking about his faith more, and then everyone like, oh, he lost his mind. He was like brainwashed by a cult, and now he hates himself for being gay. You're forcing your narrative onto somebody who is just trying to live their life.
Constantly.
Yeah, they hate that. They hate live and let live. That's the number one thing to me.
That's because I think you're onto it when you talk about it as a religion, and because it's a religion, it has the same animosity towards other faiths that a lot of faiths do, especially seeing as the standard person that believes in the new secular religion now. They believe that they are better than the old religions.
Yeah.
They believe that they're more enlightened. They're this guy named James Lindsay talks about it all the time. They're Gnostics. They believe they have special knowledge that other people don't have, and they believe that makes them better than people. So that's why the attitude and the condescension towards other religions and stuff like that. So you're right on when you call them a religion.
And it's the cult behavior of changing the meaning of words so they can talk amongst themselves without ever actually having the same conversation that they would have with the person who's not part of their in-group.
I think these people on Twitter just forgot that like Christians are Christian and have Christian beliefs.
Well, I mean, would they even be able to tell you what Christian beliefs are? Like that isn't like some like parroted over the top explanation of it.
Well, unless the church has a rainbow flag and a BLM flag flying outside of their doors, you're not allowed to go there in their book.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.